So it's like building a whole financial ecosystem.
Exactly.
That's not only accessible,
right.
but also supportive.
Yes. Yeah.
Empowering.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, creating something like this is huge.
It is.
So how do we make sure it's not just,
right.
like a flash in the pan?
Yeah, that's where you need that constant evaluation and adaptation, right?
Okay.
This isn't something you just set up and forget about.
Gotcha.
You got to constantly look at, like, are these initiatives working?
Yeah.
What's working? What needs to change?
Right.
And be willing to, adjust as you go.
Right. So it's about being flexible, responsive, understanding that this whole journey towards a more inclusive financial system, it's ongoing, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
But even with the best of intentions, don't we need someone to kind of like drive these changes?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you need that driving force. And this is where the government really needs to step in.
Okay.
Right? They have a crucial role to play.
And that's where we'll pick up in
Exactly.
the final part of our deep dive. Okay, so we've covered some really innovative ideas here.
Yeah.
For creating a more inclusive Islamic financial system in Brunei.
Right.
But, you mentioned it all hinges on the government actually taking an active role in this.
Yeah, they're key to making it happen.
So what does that look like?
Well, Soleil's research actually offers some pretty insightful guidance for policymakers.
Okay.
And it all starts with establishing like a really strong regulatory framework, one that encourages innovation, but also, protects consumers.
Right.
Especially those who might be vulnerable to, those predatory practices that are out there.
So how do you balance that? Like, how do you encourage innovation, but not, open the door for potential exploitation?
Yeah, it's a tricky one.
Yeah.
But it's about having really clear guidelines and being transparent about everything. The research even suggests looking at, other countries where Islamic finance is really successful.
Right.
And seeing what they're doing, what's working for them.
So not reinventing the wheel, but kind of adapting those best practices to Brunei.
Exactly.
But wouldn't even the best regulations fall short if people don't even understand the system?
Right, exactly. Education is key.
Yeah, we've talked about financial education, but what role can the government play in making that effective?
Well, they could create these targeted initiatives.
Okay.
Like, imagine if Islamic financial literacy was just part of the school curriculum.
Right.
Starting young, giving kids those tools early on.
Start them young. That's the key.
Right. So they can make those good decisions that are aligned with their values.
Well, what about those who are, already out of school, the adults?
Yeah, good point. For them, you'd need things like awareness campaigns.
Okay.
Those public service announcements and things, and those community-based programs. So think like workshops in mosques or community centers where you can really break down those complex ideas, and make it easier for people to understand.
I like that. Yeah, using those trusted community spaces.
Yeah.
But beyond education, what else can the government do?
Well, data is really important.
Okay.
We need a clear picture of what financial exclusion looks like in Brunei.
Okay.
Who's being left out
Right.
and why, what barriers are they facing.
So it's about understanding the nuances of the problem.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then crafting those solutions to really address those specific needs.
Absolutely. In fact, the research recommends setting up like a dedicated task force within the government, specifically focused on
So a centralized hub?
Yeah, with the people, the resources, the power to really make this change happen.
Right.
And keep it going.
Okay, but even with all that, wouldn't it still be difficult to, change public perception?
Yeah, you're right. Public awareness is huge.
Yeah.
The government can really help with that.
Okay.
By showcasing all the success stories.
Oh.
Like, highlight those entrepreneurs who got their start with halal microfinancing, or the families who were finally able to buy a home through an Islamic mortgage, or the students who, could pursue their dreams because of those awqaf scholarships.
So it's about showing people that this is a real solution, not just a concept.
Absolutely.
That it can have a real impact on their lives.
For sure.
Wow. Wrapping up this deep dive,
I
really feel a sense of of hope.
Me too.
And honestly, a little bit of excitement too.
Yeah, me too. It's encouraging to see that these principles, ethical conduct, social justice, risk sharing, they resonate beyond just Brunei.
Yeah.
These are things that can help build a fairer system globally.
So Brunei could be a leader in this, a model for other countries to follow.
Absolutely.
And to our listeners, we hope this has, sparked your curiosity about Islamic finance, and maybe you'll even be inspired to play a part in shaping this future.
Yeah, it's an exciting space to be in.
Thanks for joining us on this journey.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been great exploring this with you.
Likewise.
Until next time, keep those minds curious and engaged.